So you started out as a solo tinkerer, right? You automated a workflow, spun up a quick district dashboard, and, let's be honest, felt that absolute thrill of making things work perfectly. It's a great feeling. But what happens when the tools you build suddenly need to handle thousands of simultaneous users? Well, that's exactly what we're looking at in this explainer. We're tracing that wild journey from the safe, solitary confines of the AppScript sandbox all the way to the demanding world of enterprise-level architecture. We're going to dive deep into the professional standards you absolutely need to scale these complex district applications responsibly. Which brings us to the big question. When is building alone just no longer enough? Look, building by yourself is incredibly empowering, no doubt about it. But true professional maturity, that's knowing exactly where the boundaries of your current sandbox actually are. It's knowing exactly what to do when your ambitions mean you need to stop building a backyard shed and start building a skyscraper. So here's our blueprint for scaling up today. We're going to define the AppScript ceiling, pass through the governance data gate, organize some multi-file architecture, tackle systematic testing, and finally, look at moving from solo to collaborative builds. Let's get right into it. Starting with Section 1, Beyond the AppScript Ceiling. It's all about recognizing the limits of your sandbox. Now, for the vast majority of our daily district needs, the Google Workspace stack is literally your absolute best friend. It's secure, it seamlessly uses native Google authentication, and the best part, it needs zero external infrastructure to get off the ground. Whether you're building simple web apps, automating some massive, unwieldy spreadsheet, setting up an internal dashboard, or even playing around with lightweight LLM integrations, this is your sweet spot. It is completely manageable for a single certified builder to handle. But, make no mistake here. Even the biggest, best sandboxes have a ceiling. And this comparison perfectly illustrates that difference between the shed and the skyscraper. AppScript is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but the very second you have hundreds of simultaneous users just hammering your application, you're going to hit execution quota limits. And let me tell you, there is absolutely nothing worse than the pure panic of a script timing out right in the middle of peak school hours. No way. So if you need live, real-time, bi-directional chat, or if you're processing computationally heavy tasks, you've got to step up to the Google Cloud Platform. You need the serious muscle of containerized apps on Cloud Run that can scale automatically, or Firebase for real-time databases and serverless functions. Moving on to Section 2, the Governance Data Gate, because we absolutely have to secure the perimeter before we start building. Okay, so before you even think about touching that powerful Google Cloud layer, you hit the single most important gate of all: governance. Listen, you could write the most beautiful, flawless code in the world. Perfectly scoped queries, beautifully structured, the whole shebang. But if you send student or district data to an unvetted third-party API or some external AI model, you are completely out of compliance. Steps 1 and 2, checking the district-approved vendor list and securing a data processing agreement, are what actually make your entire data flow legal. If a service isn't approved, the project stops dead in its tracks. Period. Actually, scratch that, it doesn't even start. Which brings us to Section 3, Organizing Multi-File Architecture. These are the blueprints from maintainable district apps. All right, we've all been there, right? Staring at one massive, never-ending script file, frantically scrolling up and down, just trying to find a single tiny bug. It's a nightmare. Professional standards demand organization. By isolating responsibilities into a really clear GitHub repository structure, debugging actually becomes pretty painless. It's like a giant puzzle where every piece has its exact spot. Your code.js handles all your server-side logic. Then your index.html serves as the structural skeleton. All your visual styling is cleanly tucked away into stylesheet.html, and your front-end interactivity, that lives entirely in javascript.html. A brand new developer should literally be able to open your repo and instantly know exactly where to look. And let's pause here for a second, because this is absolutely crucial. When you build complex data structures, you're holding this massive mental model of how information flows, from a Google Sheet, through your server, all the way to the user interface. But if that architecture exists only in your head, the project basically dies the very day you leave the district. Documenting your system flow, writing those readmes, creating architecture diagrams, adding function-level comments, that isn't just some extra chore you tack on at the end of the day. As the saying goes, it's not overhead, it is the work of a professional builder. Next up is Section 4, Systematic Testing at Scale. It's time to shift our mindset from building to breaking. Look, if you don't test systematically, you're going to spend your life putting out fires. You'll be constantly chasing down errors after deployment that you easily could have caught beforehand. Professional builders test actively across 3 specific tiers. First up, you've got unit tests. These isolate and check your individual functions. Make sure the small gears turn right. Second, integration tests. Step back a bit to ensure those separate pieces actually talk to each other correctly. And finally, end-to-end testing. This simulates exactly what a real user will experience from start to finish. Every large project needs documented evidence that you didn't just build it, you actively and systematically tried to break it. Finally, we arrive at Section 5, from solo to collaborative. Learning to recognize exactly when to call in partners. Having a builder's permit proves you can build responsibly, sure, but it absolutely doesn't mean you have to solve everything alone. In fact, you shouldn't. If your project hits any of these specific triggers, like pulling data directly from the student information system, requiring domain-wide delegation over district accounts, launching to thousands of students all at once, or needing custom domains and firewall rules, well, you've crossed a major threshold. These are not solo missions anymore. Calling in network operations or innovative solutions to partner with you, that is a vital professional skill. It's a sign of maturity, not a weakness. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to take a hard look at the architecture you're building right now. Are you safely and securely inside the app script ceiling? Or are your ambitions pushing you out into the Google Cloud, where you're going to need strict governance, multi-file discipline, systematic testing, and strategic partnerships? Scaling up demands a massive shift in mindset, going from a solo tinkerer to a true professional architect. So I'll leave you with this. Is your next project a solo build, or is it a partnership just waiting to happen?